Hello, Amit.
Hey, hear me?
Uh, Hello. Can you hear
Are
me,
you?
everybody?
Yeah, I can hear you. This is Sundar here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Amit, you can carry on. Yeah.
Okay. So before I start, prepared a PPT. So this has what all you will be covering in this course, right? And then for development section, I have another set of PPTs in which every topic on the development part are covered. But this PPT tells us the syllabus. So this will be an admin and development training. All right. So the topics we would cover is, what is ServiceNow, why and who can use ServiceNow, what is the concept of ITIL in ServiceNow, basically how ServiceNow can help you, how ServiceNow is helping organizations, why are companies migrating towards ServiceNow, and what benefit you have in market of learning ServiceNow. So that is what we'll see in this. Like, and then the basic things like if you want any help, where you should search for in ServiceNow, or if you are stuck, basically some important helpful portals, what all releases of ServiceNow have come. Basically the introduction part of ServiceNow. Okay, then we go to this admin part of ServiceNow, which is like how to change the visibility of home page, adding reports to home page, list layout changes, all the basic stuff. We'll also, because these things are important to remember also in ServiceNow. Uh, then we'll see the tables, what are forms, what are dictionaries, how do we create a table, personalize the form, what is the dictionary entries, dictionary overrides, reference qualifiers. So all these things will be covered in this slide. So basically we will see all the basics of ServiceNow, and tables and forms are the basic of every application also that you make. Then we'll see an important part. This is important for development, but I have put this on here because there might be some admin activities also that might need creation of update set. And as an admin, a person should know how to create an update set, merge update sets, retrieve update sets, preview update sets. So this is an important part of ServiceNow, and we'll be seeing this. This is and this will be really helpful because this gets confusing to a lot of people at times. How do you move your customizations from one instance to another? Okay, then so basically these things will cover the admin part. So admin part would not be that big. I would like to tell you a lot of things in this, because admin part is something like, you know you don't specifically need a big training for that. If I tell you these things, so after that you on yourself would be able to study more on the admin part. It is not that complicated. It is more about, just going through the tool and learning the UI things, and you can do that yourself also. I'd like to focus more on development. It's not that I'll not we'll cover each and every topic on admin part also, but most of the slides will be dedicated to the scripting. So scripting, I have written a lot of topics here just in one slide, like client script, business rule, Ajax script, script include, UI action, UI policy, but these are individual topics in themselves. So here you will learn about, what are client scripts, when all you can use client scripts, what is the difference between a client script and a business rule, when you should write a business rule, what all practical examples may come in your way. So these practical examples are, generally I give examples from the project that I'm working on, or I have previously worked on, or the examples that I find on the internet. So why do you write the Ajax script? What is the difference between Ajax? How do you call this Ajax? How do you use the Ajax query in script include? What is the need for that? Right? And what is the difference between a UI action and a UI policy? How is the UI policy different from a client script? All these, because these all questions are generally asked in interviews also. So these all things would be covered in the scripting part. There's more scripting to come, but then I'll also focus some time on the service catalog management and workflows. So basically, how do you create custom forms in ServiceNow? How do you trigger workflows? What all activities are there in the workflows? How do you create those forms? Basically, what is RITM? What is a task? How do you attach workflows? How do you trigger approvals? How do you trigger tasks? you know all these things. So these all would cover, all would come under the service catalog management. And this is nowadays this has become a very basic thing for each service now. If you are saying that you are working in service now, so anywhere you go, this is the, like these things are expected from you. It's, you cannot say that I know this. This is kind of expected that you must know as a service now professional. Now there's another important thing that, and this is important for admins also. If in ServiceNow administration also, this is important. It's like, how do you import the data into ServiceNow? How do you create a data source? How do you, like, for example, if you want an Excel file to be imported into ServiceNow into the target table, so for that you would need to create a transform map. But if you have an XML file that you want to import, so that can be imported directly. And then if you want to create the data import that is scheduled for a time, what are transform scripts? Well, basically, why do you need these transform scripts? So all these things would come under importing data in ServiceNow, and this is an important part. Uh, so basically, see, for example, if your organization is new to ServiceNow, now they first of all, what they would do, they would add some data in ServiceNow. And how would they do it? One of the ways to do that is to bring data through an Excel sheet that they were previously using. So how they would do that, how they would move that to the target table, whichever table that is. So for the people who are new, to like, two people here are basically like they are fresher for ServiceNow. So tables are the most important thing in ServiceNow. So each and every entry is stored in a table, and there are a lot of tables that you will see in ServiceNow. So you'll get familiar with the tables. So so the tables is the most common word that you will find in ServiceNow, right? Okay, I should have put this slide at the top. So this is also part of the user administration. Like, how do you create groups? What are users? What is the concept of delegate? How do you customize the user profiles? These are all important for how do you add the foundation data, like location groups, admin ITL, user concept. So this is my bad. I should have put this file at the top. But so all these things, basically admin related things, you will because these creating, like, we never create a user, but we might need if we want. But creating groups, users, and all these things, how these all things would come under this. Then we would also be seeing, okay, do you have any doubt up till now?
Um, Amit, I
No,
just
it's
had one
clear.
doubt.
Yeah.
Uh, so I wanted to ask that while going through the slides, how would you proceed? That is, after completion or teaching, theoretically, you would do something practically, and how would you give us some task to in order to complete and try on our own, and so that we can come back and tell you how how it would work.
Yeah. So basically, what I would do is, uh, all these things that I'm telling you, I'll explain you in my personal instance, right? Each and everything
Mm-hmm.
that I tell you, for example, this reference qualifier. So I'll show you an example of
Mm-hmm.
basically what is that in the instance itself. So in the instance, I would go to some field. I would. create a reference qualifier, or I would check if that is already present, right? So in that way, I would show
Mhm.
you on the instance. But as far
Mhm.
as the tasks, like I do not have any tasks given which I can tell you that do this, do this, do this. But because that will be up to you, how you would like to learn. Because getting creating tasks and all that is very like I also do not know how like if there are any tasks etc. available. I could help you with uh, like if you have any concerns, right? On like you are facing any issues. So because the actual practical knowledge will come when you work on something.
Mhm.
I have like for user administration I don't have much tasks, but for scripting I have some examples. Okay, so those examples you can implement on your instance also.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay,
Yeah,
then fine.
I would try to get some task if possible, right? I would ask the HKR if they have some if they have some tasks which they generally give to people. I'm not sure about that, but from my end, I would
Yeah,
explain
I
each
think
and
so. It
every.
should be this, but it should be an interactive way, I guess, because it is
Yeah,
something like if you are teaching, for example, scripting a topic like client script, then we should try something on our end, and so that if we face an issue, we can reach back to your tell you that what exact we might go wrong or what challenges we are facing, something like that.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah. So then the next topic that would be covered would be the email notifications. So basically, how do you create a template? How do you create a notification? How do you check email logs? How do you trigger the notification? Right? And how do you set the email properties? So an email notification is an important part of each and every project in ServiceNow. So basically, you would need to create a notification template first. Then you would need to know what all users, basically notification, there are three things: when to send, whom to send, and what to send. So when would be like, what is the time, what would be the trigger condition for the notification? For example, if we ordered something from Amazon, so just after ordering, we get an email to us that you have ordered this and this, something like that. So it's similarly it is in ServiceNow also. If an incident is assigned to you, or uh, if you have raised a request, anything, so you'll get an email notification. So it is this would be all about that. Then we have this important thing of SLAs. I would cover the SLAs before. I'll not delay it until this 11th PPT. So SLAs are also an important part of the ServiceNow ITSM process. So SLAs would be, how do you configure SLAs? How do you attach SLAs to tasks? What to do if you see that an SLA is broken? So something like that. What is the difference between SLA and OLAs? How do you configure the time zone for SLAs, right? Because each and every user is in different location. So this part will also be covered. Apart from this, we will also see the schedule jobs and ACLs. So ACL are basically access control lists in ServiceNow, where you can restrict entry to a table. For example, you want only the VIP users to be able to see a table. You want some, like if you have created a finance application in ServiceNow and you want only the finance people to be seeing that. So for all those purpose, we write ACLs so that everyone is not allowed to see everything. So we can, it is basically ACLs helps us to restrict entry to a data or a table. And then we would also cover schedule jobs. So schedule jobs are basically used in integration. So what happens is Like generally integration is basically bringing data from any third party tool to ServiceNow. So generally what happens is this data is brought on the weekends, because on weekends on the servers etc., there is uh, less tasks are running on the server, so we generally schedule that integration for the weekends, for example. So there, that is where scheduled jobs come handy. We can basically schedule any task. We do not we can it is not mandatory to run that manually. We can, by the help of schedule job, we can specify a time that that integration would run in that time, so that we don't have to worry about that. So all these things would also be covered. Then we would also see some web service. How do you configure a web service? The most important thing, if you plan to go to ITOM direction in ServiceNow, so that is this. How do you configure the mid server? All right. What are inbound and outbound configuration? What is a WSDL? So basically here we will see the introduction to web service, in which we will see how we configure uh, integrations basically. Now, so basically there I can end to end explain you the SCCM integration and LDAP integration, but we'll see how much time we have, because in the last course that I did, I explained the SCCM integration also. So, and this might be useful for you even for interviews and all that stuff. And if you people would like go into a ServiceNow discovery, or get an idea of ServiceNow discovery, I have experience in that, so we can do that also. So basically most of these things we would cover. I hope like after this course you will have, I would not guarantee that you would be the master of ServiceNow. That will not happen for sure, but at least you know what will happen is, if anybody is telling you anything, or if you join a company, for example, and or if you in your company, if you proceed to some advanced role, so it would be not that you don't know anything. You would have to do some things from your side then also after the training, but it would not, like, you would be able to understand things. If somebody shows a script in front of you, you would know that what the script is trying to do. So that should be the expectation out of this training. So that's all from my side right now. So you can ask your questions.
Yeah, Amit, for development side, do you cover a little bit on JavaScript in a high level, before get into the development side, client scripts and business rules.
Uh, yeah, we can go a bit on JavaScript. Yeah.
So what would be the duration of this whole training? Is it 20 hours or?
Yeah, approximately like that only.
So
Approximately.
okay. So in this whole training, I believe Kamalesh, you and the other folks, right? Only one person is new, right? Rest is pretty much they already worked on service now, right?
There were two people.
Oh, okay. So I think Ramya left, I think, from this
Yeah, yeah, she left the
training.
call.
And who else on this call? I believe Kamalesh and myself, right?
Amit, I just wanted to ask that, for example, there are some slide which I saw was regarding scripting, right? So, as an a developer currently, and we that is we are not aware of the APIs which are there. For example, the client record and other thing APIs are not, we are not aware of. So while going into scripting, before that, you would explain all kind of APIs which are there in the system, and then we will go into that section, or
Yeah, so,
how
yeah, yes.
are you going to
Yeah,
proceed?
yeah. So before that, you would know, for example, glide record is an API. G underscore form is an API, right? So first we would see what all options do
Mhm.
you get. For example, if you are using G underscore form, so what after G underscore form, what all things in client script you can do, like G underscore form dot get value, G underscore form dot set value, all these things. So I would
Mhm.
tell you first all these things, what all things are available in this API, and so that after that it would be up to you how do you use that. And after that, I will tell you some examples in which those things are used, those APIs are used.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. And okay, yes, no,
Any other questions from your side?
if I have one more question. As you mentioned that there are a few tools for integration of ServiceNow.
Can you come again? I could not hear you properly.
Okay, in a matter of, if doesn't know, okay, as you mentioned that there is a section of integration of ServiceNow with other third parties or within ServiceNow. So those section would be, if it is a short amount of time or you would lack of amount of time, then it would, will it get skipped or will it be concluded and
No,
completed
see,
in
no, no. What, see, if we have a lot of time, we would go into the details, but at least I would tell you how do you do that. Basically, where do you go and what all is the what all requirements can you get and how would you do that? And anyway, I would tell you one or two types of integration, like this JDBC integration, that is SCCM integration, and LDAP integration. These two I would tell you. Right. Apart from that,
okay,
yeah, I would try to cover as much as possible.
yeah. I
okay,
think
okay, and
Amit,
these
go ahead.
Yeah, so these in the integration which you have mentioned, even these, for example, SCCM integration you mentioned, or LDAP integration, for how would we try to integrate this? That is how we can try. Is there any example or any URL which you provides, or how would we do?
No, 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 no. I
For
don't have
example,
any.
SCC.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, what I would do is I would tell you in the instance what all things you need to do, what all things you need to configure, right? But I don't have any
Mm-hmm.
test, like any database or something where you can connect it and check. I don't have that.
Okay, okay, okay. But then how would we uh, understand, or that is what all things might require, basic level of things would you would tell, but how we can ensure that the integration has been happened if it is not real time.
See what happens is, see real time knowledge you would only get if you work in a project, because apart from that you would not know. See, because here, if the integration has happened also, there would be just a single database. You would know everything about that. You would just enter the password and the connection is successful. You just click on load records, you will get all the records, right? So, but when you do it real time, you have a lot of challenges. You need to contact a lot of teams, and then every company has a very complex organization structure of how they manage things. They have a lot of firewalls, etc. So that all things we cannot do here on the training. So the uh, the purpose of this training is to make you aware of each and everything that is there in ServiceNow. But that for me that would not be possible. Just like if I would tell you what all these integrations are, how do you configure them on the instance, if that requires scripting, what all things you would need to do. But I do not have any example of such. Like I don't have any example where I have a URL and just I tell you do this, and then you see the data. I don't have in such way.
Okay. Amit, what would I expect from you is something after you explaining things, I would expect you to give me certain kind of task or something like that so that I can try doing things on my own and come back if I require anything. Something like which might require into a company on real time basis. In terms of scripting, you can say, in terms of advanced administration or into development, more focusing on those things mostly.
Okay, so see, what I have is, for example, this is the scripting PPT for client script, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how I teach that. So basically, these all topics will tell what are the types of client script, right? And then these are all the uh, object methods which are available, right? And then
So, so Amit, this as a scripting class would go at least maybe 1 week
yeah,
per if you, 1 hour per day. Probably in 10 days it would cover everything, right?
yeah. So see, it's something like this. So this would be one of the lab, right? And then so this lab you can try on your own. So this in this lab, this is basically what is there. This is when a form is saved, submitted, saved, or updated. If the priority is critical and the user role does not have an admin role, you need to display a confirmation box asking if the user really wants to submit a critical priority incident. If the user cancels the submission, generate an alert stating that the incident was not submitted. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing,
Okay.
what I would do is, I would explain to you what this code is doing. Now, after the class, you can try this on your instance. Basically, this is the pseudo code that is there. Try doing this on your own. If you find any errors, you can just check this code, and if you find any difficulty in the code, you can ask me that what is this used, why this is used. So for every, like, on if you want to do something on reference. So here, like, when a configuration item field on the change request is changed, request the CI record from the server and execute the callback function. If the CI is 3D pinball, set the priority to low, risk to none, impact to low, make the priority risk, something like this. So you would also have the script for this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like this. This is the maximum that I have for these.
So
Okay.
Amit, you are going to share slides and a recording session as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That way we could go back and revisit if required.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's more, and if you could cover a little bit on high-level JavaScript before even you start on development side, that would help a little bit.
Yeah.
Because reason that is most of the coding development side, same, the object dot method, and sometimes they'd say that object dot properties too. So there are some difference over there. If you could explain those, that would help. Because all the GForm and even Glide system, both are classes. One on server side, one on client side, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so basically today I wanted to give you an idea so that you can decide basically how do you want to proceed further.
Amit, one more question from my end. That after completion of the entire course, or can say, or the entire training, you can say, will we get an opportunity or a chance to work on any kind of a project or something to imply and apply all the things which we have learned from the courses?
Uh, no, I don't have any project or something like that. I can ask
Because
HKR if they have if they provide some
because
project to the people.
um,
Your voice is breaking.
mhm. Yeah, please, because I think so. Because we would to approve and screen sharing is fine, but to apply all those things entire project or something for a learning.
Uh, Actually, your voice is. I can hear just two, three words of your voice, Kamlesh. Hey, Kamlesh, you there?
Now, I am there, but is my voice audible?
Yeah, now it's fine. So the voice broke in the
Yeah,
middle.
that I was just asking the things which you tell us or share us or teach us in the course. I would like to apply those things into a demo project or something which I can develop in our own purpose. Which learning from you in order to learning kind of a thing, which again make things on my own in order to learn something like that.
So Kamlesh, like to be very frank, I don't have any project or something like that in which the demo like you can perform on your end. So then it is all up to you how do you want to proceed, how do you want to learn? Because see the conditions that you will face in a company in a project are every project is a different situation. It is not like if you do one project, because the project that would be provided by any trainer would be just a
Hmm.
project which he knows. He would know some scripts, he would prepare that project. It's not that if you
Hmm.
do that project, you do one or two scripts if you write, so that means you are aware of something. This
Hmm.
is my thinking. Like it is one thing is just to give a project for formality. Like creating a project is not a big thing. I just have to get two or three questions or examples from each and every topic, and that would become a project, right? So
Hmm.
so that thing I don't want to do. Like, but apart from that, I would say that each and everything you prepare, I would give you the links and know about each and everything. And when the opportunity comes to work on that, you would know or you would get things by yourself. That is what my experience is. You should know each and everything, but until when you work on a real time on those things, that knowledge is of no use.
Yeah, that's what I'm also expecting. Before working on all those things, it would be handy if we work something on this before
Also, for like as part of my
getting
training,
into a
how yeah. So as part of my training, how I teach, I do not have any project of something like that. I
how
have
would
these.
I know that what challenges?
Yeah. So as part of my training, I don't have any project or something like that for your if you want to do on yourself for every topic we have, I have these labs, right? So this you can do from your side. So that is the maximum that I would be able to do.
Okay, okay, okay. One more thing, Amit. With the help of the course training which you have provided, can I apply myself for an implementation certification?
Implementation certification you can apply without even going through this course. There are some fixed set of dumps that you have. All the questions will come from those dumps.
Okay, okay, but okay, fix it. So that the dumb is fine, but what is expected in implementation is come whether it's a phase from the development training.
So most of the topics in that implementation certificate would be covered in this. So they ask more questions on the process side
Mhm.
of things that certification.
Yeah, Amit, do you cover a flow designer
Certification is also like CI implementation specialist is also of different like if you want to do it on ITSM, ITOM, there are different types of ITSM certification. Sorry, implementation specialist certification. So I think going through this course, you would apply for the ITSM one.
yeah,
Okay.
Amit, do you cover some kind of flow designer kind? Once the change is submitted, it would go to the open state, then it will go to approval state, the flow thing. Do
Yeah,
you
so
cover?
that I mentioned on the workflow thing. So when I was telling you about the workflows, so in workflows, we do that only
Yeah,
in
basically
work.
state changes.
Yeah. So this will be covered in this topic, this one.
Okay. Those are catalog work in even regular change management.
Normal workflows also function in the same way.
Okay.
So is there anything else from your side?
Yeah, only thing it all depends on audience.
Here in this.
How fast they want to move from admin piece to the actual work.
Yeah.
Because all other admin stuff, by reading those, you could do that. But the rest is more on, where you specified for, workflow stuff and scripting. Uh, you know, suppose if you have a instance created, then you have created another sub instant to that way you could copy from parent instance to child record, copy values from parent to child, right?
Yeah.
So there's one scenario, how do you copy field values from a parent instance record to child instance record? Real-time scenario is, you get a pre-one ticket, then another guy will call help desk and they'll create, oh, my server is down, then you'll create another ticket, but you won't basically it will tie to the parent record, right?
Yeah.
And in those scenario, when you create incident record, you will copy from parent record to child record. In that scenario, whether you use business role, if you use business role, how do you implement those in those simple scenarios,
Yeah. Okay, then you people can decide, right? And then
It all depends, our trainer whoever is here, if they want more focus on going slowly on start right from scratch, or quickly going through that admin stuff and spend more time on where we need,
okay.
Amit, would be the trainer for the course, right?
Yeah.
So one more question here is there are other modules on the side as well. For example, there is a scripting module. So is there any difference between the entire part? Because here there is also a scripting and there's an entire module of scripting. So is there any difference?
No, so basically they have created their own. I have created my own slide. So what happens
Mm-hmm.
is the scripting. So this is admin and development training. So scripting is part of development only. So all these development related things, all the scripting that you would need would come under this training only.
the other one scripting training, is something advanced, or that would cover here as well.
So that in scripting, that is like that is this if you go only for the scripting training, so that is advanced. Basically, that would cover only this is more kind of admin and development is more kind of uh, you would know things. I think the proper scripting they have different trainer, I guess. I'm not sure. Proper scripting, by proper scripting I mean like I'm also not very sure what they provide in overall scripting. When if a person goes for that, maybe you can clear with them. But here you would get admin and then you would get the knowledge of development also.
So in most of the implementation now, whatever is sharing now, the scripting stuff is pretty much we use, right? For most of the implementations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Amit, my personal opinion is I believe since it all depends on other folks as well. Maybe scripting and introduction to the other stuff is spending more time on those, and remaining stuff is a little bit a refresh course also would help.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
It all depends on other folks too, guys. It's just my
You
opinion.
people can decide. Yeah. Okay then.
So, Kamlesh, what's your thought on that? Just want to get your survey at least, because there's one more person, I believe she left, I guess. Um, so I because we have only certain hours,
My
right? So I thought maybe it's in
I'm
any real-time
expecting
projects, you work on scripting
what
more.
I yes.
So all
More
other stuff
focusing
is
more
in
on the advanced administration
yeah.
and on the development part. I would it would be great.
Yeah, reason that
Maximum
all other
time on those.
all other stuff is user creation, user profiles. Those are high level information is definitely would help, but spending more time, that is all any implement you do one time job. You don't do it on day to day basis. You know the real development comes under through scripting, and if there is integration is required, It's better to use more time on those areas, whatever the hours we have.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, if it is, if it is something import, that way, if it Excel probably it is easy, probably if it is coming from another ODBC connection, if they could cover, that would help too,
Yeah, it's all depends on Amit, how he carries.
I'll try to cover most of the topics. So yeah, is there any other question? Just now,
Is Amit basically it is a daily same time 1 hour call.
yeah, 1 hour call should be there. It should be enough.
It would be in the morning, Amit.
Yeah, morning time only, because then I do not get time later.
Okay, that is in the way we had it now, around 8, something like that.
Yeah, this time should be fine.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay.
Amit, what's the best way to reach you if if you have any questions, and just send out email or wait for following day,
Yeah, you can send out an email.
So are you going to share us, your PowerPoint slide upfront before the training just to go through that, or?
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can share this one. I'll share this one.
Okay. Yeah, and since any recording, after the session, maybe we could go back and revisit, in case if you.
Yeah. Okay, then you people can decide whatever you want, and then I think
Yes, Amit. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
bye.
Amit. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.